Joining us now, a longtime friend of the program from Canucks Army, and now our Jersey insider, as you're telling me, Grady. It's Mr. Wyatt Arndt, the Stanchion, in all his glory. How you doing, buddy?
Doing great. I did actually order a specific jersey for this segment. It hasn't arrived yet from Fanatics, but I'm waiting on it. Don't worry, it'll get here soon enough. Okay. I'm glad you guys have me on, and I got some thoughts. I do.
Yeah,
I really do.
So I hear. So I hear you have been a multi-year war against Fanatics, and that Jersey guys everywhere are revolting against what the NHL announced this morning at 6:45 a.m. Eastern. It should be noted. They had this press release ready to go. Fanatics is taking over as the official jersey supplier, and this is a terrible thing for Jersey guy. You're going to have to explain this to me, Wyatt. What's the source of the feud here?
Yeah, I mean, I woke up to a lot of notifications. I'll give a bit quick background. I ordered a simple jersey. I do a bit of wrestling on the side, and I wanted one of those garish jerseys that has your own name on the back, as one does, just to be very arrogant with my wrestling stuff. Ordered it in January, and then come March, I said, okay, take a couple months to get there. I'm like, oh, sure, why not? Come March, I asked them, hey, where's the jersey? Like, oh, we'll look into it. And then the next day, they just canceled the order without a word. So it's like, I was like, oh, you know what? I've got a platform. I'm going to yell at these corporate overlords. I'm going to go at them. Little did I know that mere 5 days later, they'd become the official NHL jersey supplier. So, the background of Fanatics, it's easy to be like, oh, Gary Bettman once again doing kind of like the thing that nobody wants. But Fanatics is taking over, sports in North America. They're taking over all the leagues. It's kind of becoming the Ticketmaster or Amazon of sports. So I don't necessarily blame the NHL because, it kind of seems like that's the way it's going. But for people being angry about it, yeah, because, there used to be a lot of, even like look back in the day when you guys used to trade cards. There used to be so many different companies that you could, buy cards from. Oh, Peachy, Upper Deck, you have the options, Now it's like, even something like Mitchell and Ness was a really cool company. They did retro jerseys. Well, Fanatics owns them. Even lids. Everyone loved lids for their hats. That was great stuff to get them. Oh, but now Fanatics owns them. And so what that means is less options. Even if you go to lids now, your options for hats have like diminished completely because you would think, hey, Fanatics, they have all the money in the world. They can make all this stuff and have lots of supplies. But in anything, it's the reverse now, where they're like taking even more time to get stuff done. And they want and I understand like on their end, hey, let's make it less complicated. Just have a few options. That makes sense in a way, I guess. But in terms of fans and getting what they want, having variety, it's terrible news, to be honest.
So Fanatics is already involved with the National Hockey League. And Wyatt, you're going to have to walk me through the distinctions here. They make sort of the cheaper replica version of the jersey where Adidas makes the actual player-worn version. What are the distinctions? What are the differences?
Yeah, it's kind of weird and confusing. Like, Fanatics have been slowly trying to work their way into the NHL, and like they would make like, oh, we'll make stuff for like the trading staff, we'll make stuff for like the vendor. Like they'll like do the random things, anything but the on-ice jerseys. That was all Adidas. So when you would order a jersey, you'd be like, oh, I'll get the Fanatics brand, I guess, because it's cheaper. Like you're not going to spend all the time $400 on a jersey. But then you'll go, oh, that's $130. That seems fine. But then the quality of it, like the material feels different. They brag about their logo being, it's bendable, so it can be stored better, but it's just, feels more like a silk screen. It's not good. So it's just, it's kind of a budget brand, which again, nothing wrong with that. If you just want to get a jersey, not everyone needs to be a jersey guy and needs to have that perfect jersey. But in terms of like quality and stuff, like my favorite thing I've seen just from this company was the Sidney Crosby jersey. Like if you can't get Sidney Crosby right, like I don't know. Like, and that's the thing that surprised me the most. I put out my tweets against Fanatics, and like, you just see like endless people with their stories coming through, whether it's this poor customer service or misspelled names, or you'll see St. Louis Blues colors with the Boston Bruins logo on it. Like, it's incredible the amount of mistakes this company makes, honestly.
So I wonder, like, was that your biggest fear, that the Canucks will be skating around and like the Orca is just going to fall off, that there's going to be like litter on the ice based on the crappy quality here?
Well, that was kind of the joke. They said that like the Canucks have to like reassign like 7 captains. The C will keep falling off during the game. They'll have to keep putting it back on new jerseys. Like, and that's kind of the thing. Like, you would hope, like, they were taking over the Adidas warehouse that's kind of producing them now. So hopefully there is a bit of infrastructure in place that allow them to do that. But you're already seeing the impact in terms of, like, I'm going to compare it quickly to the NBA. The NBA is really fun. They have a lot of different jerseys. You make the playoffs, you could have a new jersey. And I know some fans think, oh, well, that's just a money grab. But just in turn, you don't have to buy every jersey. No one's forcing you to. But there's a lot of variety there. And that's kind of fun. You see a jersey you connect with, buy it. Cool. The reverse retro thing with the NHL I thought was really fun. People enjoyed it. We got to see different designs. It was a talking point. It's kind of made NHL seem, quote unquote cool for a little bit. Like they're keeping up with the NBA a little bit. And now though, they've already announced today, well, reverse retro, sorry, we can't do that. We need to figure our stuff out for like 3-4 years. So already you're going to see like just plain jerseys for the next 3 or 4 years while they try and figure their stuff out, which again, huge company. They've taken over all these sports, but it feels like they're like low end where they can't just figure even basic production out. So I just feel like in terms of originality and fun and just quality. That's the main thing you're seeing from people in the pushback today.
Wyatt, take a little journey with me here, and it's going to require a leap on a couple of things. One is, let's just say the Vancouver Canucks will win the Stanley Cup wearing Fanatics jerseys. Will this diminish the joy of the fan base in any way, or will people be able to look past it?
I think people will look past it. They just have to accept the fact they won't be able to order their Stanley Cup jersey for another 5 years. So as long as they're okay with waiting, I'm a bit worried about that. But it is just kind of a thing where you just look at it, and I know Bettman's going to get some pushback, but honestly, this is kind of the lay of the land. Fanatics has been branching out and taking over everything, so I don't really blame the NHL too much for it. It's just kind of like, you would think, hey, it'd be nice if they kind of like gone their own direction, but that's not the NHL way whatsoever.
Well, this is the first time they will actually be making player-worn, game-worn jerseys, so we will monitor that. As you point out, they are using the same factory that Adidas uses in St. Hyacinthe, Quebec. Last question for you, Wyatt. Will there now be a rush to go out and get the official Adidas jerseys before they dry up? Like, are we looking at collector's items jerseys that are being worn right now by players? And will you personally be out there buying up all these expensive Adidas jerseys as a retirement nest egg?
I honestly, I think there is going to be a rush. Like we saw when Reebok went to Adidas, there wasn't any sort of fervor in there because it's just two companies that kind of know what they're doing. Now that this is like, I know it's easy to pile up on corporation stuff, but like this is a real concern of quality with them. So I think you are seeing. I've seen people talk online like, I want to get the jerseys I like now. I was waiting on a Kuzmenko jersey, someone said, but now I want it now. Like I want the good quality ones. And we don't even know where like the skate mate, the glorious comeback this season, is that still part of their like, you're fine with what you have now, or is that something like, well, hold on, like we just don't know where everything stands right now. So I think you are going to see people, whether it's right or not, running out, just kind of like locked down away. And the only jersey I want is that All-Star jersey, because that reminds me of the old McDonald's Muppets All-Star jerseys, and I really want that in my collection. So I'm still gunning for that one. It's
your worst nightmare, Wyatt. They're going to make the skate jersey in Bruins colors.
Oh, don't even say that. They will, though. Be like the Canucks, and I'm like, what is this team? Oh, man.
With Decmo on the back.
Well, coming to NEW Wrestling, Wyatt Arndt, the Stanchion, in a grudge match against a Fanatics rep this year at the Commodore. Buddy, great hearing your voice again. Nice seeing you again on the video side of things. All the best. I'm sorry for your loss here.
Thank you, boys.
And your hardship, and we'll catch up down the road. We'll read
my
the
personal
Stanchions.
problems will continue. Thanks, boys.